All right, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to get YouTube transcripts and transform them into many different things using make.com, whether that's Twitter tweets, blog posts, Instagram, or short form video scripts, or newsletter blurbs. We're going to do all that in this video. Now, the website that I'm on right now is called make.com. You can log in and get started for free. Again, this is a free tool. What you're gonna have to do is set up an account, and then after that, again, make.com is free. Then go to scenarios, and then go to create a new scenario, right? And now we're here, and this is where we could build our automation, right? So what we want to do is we want to have a trigger that every time a YouTube video gets added to a playlist, we're going to capture that transcript and do several different things with it, right? So what we need to do is we need to go to YouTube and we need to set up a playlist. Let's just see. Let's say that I wanted to create a playlist based off this guy's video, and I can then click on the save button and then click new playlist. And then let's do marketing strategies. I'm trying to learn more about marketing strategies, but you could make your playlist about anything that you want to base your automation on. And for me, I know I've done it on my videos. You could do it on anybody's videos. And the visibility doesn't matter. You could have it as unlisted, right? And then from there, once you got a video saved, you might need multiple videos to test this automation with, because it's going to, so you might need to save a couple videos, right? So let's go down here and click on this video and then save it to marketing strategies, and then click on this video and save it to marketing strategies. And now we have 3 videos in the playlist. So a good number of videos in the playlist is always good to start off with in this trigger, because this trigger is based off every time a new video gets added to the playlist. But there's ways you could manually trigger it. But for the purposes of this automation, we want to watch videos in a playlist. We want to create a new YouTube connection within make.com. And then from that, you're going to have to click on add and click on yes, and then sign in with Google. It's going to verify. And now you have your new YouTube connection. And then we are going to find our playlist that we just created. So this is the playlist that we've just recorded. In right here, this is the YouTube URL / we're going to be looking for the playlist ID, right? Well, let me explain the URL structure. youtube.com/watch (V equals) and a bunch of characters. This is the video ID, and it's in list, and it has a bunch of characters at the end. And this is going to be the YouTube playlist ID that you've just made. And we're going to be plugging that into here. Now you found it. We're going to change the limit down to 1, and we're going to set the date to yesterday to capture all of the playlist video ads that we've done today, right? And now to see if we have this automation working, we're going to first want to save it. We're going to say YouTube marketing strategies. All right, we're going to save that, and then we're going to click run down at the bottom left and see that it successfully ran. If you do not see that it successfully ran and this is green and you have 1 in here, the operation and all the details, then you'd have to go back and figure out exactly what data needed to be added if this YouTube playlist video was incorrect or if your YouTube sign in was incorrect. But assuming you got that correct, and if not, you could always message me and we could work through the automation. I could guide you through in more detail. But assuming you got that right, the next thing we're going to do is we could populate this data in a Google Sheets for our awareness and to keep track of things. Because how are we going to get this data and where we're going to store it in the first place, right? So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Google Sheets and we're going to add a new row. Now, if you haven't seen this before, this is a Google Sheets module. So we're going to have to plug in our Google account. We can continue, and we are going to go into Google Drive and go into a folder that you want to have your Google Sheet information in. And we're going to create a new Google Sheet and zooming in. I have headers here, but the names of those headers doesn't really matter right now. So we could just have important info 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4 and then 5 and so on. Until about I'm not sure if we're going to populate all that information, but basically this will be used to help us what the headers are, the cells that we're going to be populating data with, and then we're going to change the names of them later. And then we're going to title this spreadsheet Marketing Strategies. And once we've got it named Marketing Strategies, we are going to find it within this, and we're going to search for marketing strategies. Search where we stored it in this particular folder. And for you, it might be in a different place, but for me, it'll be in here. And then if everything was successful, you'll have all of the headers be populated. And then from here, you could paste in the important value that you want from here. The main thing that we're going to be wanting to pull in is probably the playlist ID, the video ID, the title, anything you want to make your data enriched. You do the video channel title owner if you want. I think you do video published at if you want. Just any data that you want to add in here is fine. And then we continue with the next automation, right? Which is, let me go get a cup of coffee. All right, now that we're back, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going, so the next step in this automation, we're going to be going to a place called Rapid API. If you've never seen this website before, sign up for it, make an account. Again, this is free. And what this website basically allows you to do is pull different information. And some of these are free and some of these are paid, but most of these are free. For the use case that we're going to be using API in here for, it's going to be free. So just keep that in mind. We're going to be looking up a particular API that somebody has made that specifically gets the transcripts. Right. It is this one right here. And this all might look confusing at first, but it's okay. What we're basically going to be doing is making sure that we create an HTTP module within Make and populating it with the information in here. If we zoom in a little closer into here, I have the target set on JavaScript. You can change it to whatever you want, but I've got it changed to JavaScript to basically point out that this right here is what we're going to be passing into the HTTP request, right? So our new module is going to be a HTTP request, and the URL will be what we've copied and pasted into from here. Copy paste this URL. It's going to be a get URL we see that the video ID is in here. We're going to change that with the video ID that we have from YouTube for the video that we've recently added to our playlist. And now it should look something like this. And if you got it to look like that, that's good. We are then going to need to add more information in the headers of the HTTP request. And so what you want to do is you want to copy paste this x dash rapid API dash key in here. You're going to click add header, paste that in, then take your API and then also paste that in. And then we're going to take x dash rapid API dash host, and we're also going to take and paste that in, and then YouTube Transcriptor.com, that value, that information, we're also paste that into here. So your structure should look something like this. We're gonna press save. Okay, and if everything worked out well, we should see, oh well, we got a bad something didn't go right, but we could make it right. So let's try again. Everything's okay. To test out your automation, we could just paste in the blank URL without the value from YouTube just to test and see if this module works first. And great, congratulations, it does. Now we could change out this video URL and paste it in with the right proper video ID, and then see if it works. Press save and see if it works. Guys, after some debugging, the URL has to look like this. Your method is good, and your name for the header 1 is this x rapid API dash host, and the value is YouTube transcriptor, and this information. And your next header value is, header name is x rapid API key, and then your value is your API key. It has to look like this, otherwise you're going to run into errors. Have you ever come into a scenario where you're just running it and you're testing it and trying to see if it works, and then it just stops right here at the YouTube module? That means this module has ran out of videos to pull from, and what you would have to do is probably find a different pull from try to re-pull, right? And then it will start. Basically, you would just have to add and re-add videos to your playlist that you've created. That's okay. Just find more videos to put in, and we're gonna make sure that the process of this flow works by adding videos and giving you content to work with. And then you could reset it by going in here and adding another connection, or adding another connection. You could be like, my second. This is one way to do it. There's multiple ways to do it, but I'm just giving you one foolproof way, right? My second YouTube connection. Basically sign in with Google as usual, and then it'll reset this module, and then it'll give you the option that you had last time to choose where you want to start from, and you want to select from a specific date, and probably the day before today of when you started adding videos to the playlist, and then click save. And now you could continue to click run and test your automation, right? And then once you've got this HTTP request module working, right, you could then continue with the workflow. And if all of this sounds really complicated, don't worry. I have the JSON object to this automation in the description that you could just upload and sign in, and you will have this automation, right? And next thing you want to do, and again, this is all completely free, even this HTTP request, as you can see here, it has 20 requests per month for the basic tier, right? Which is free, basically, for 20 requests. And then we can go to Google Gemini AI, right? we can do create a completion. We can create a connection. And then in here, to access Google's free Gemini AI, we could go to close out of these things. Google Gemini Flash API, and then Gemini API, Google for developers, and then get a Gemini API key, and then click create API key, and then we're going to search for the Google Cloud projects that you have. The thing is, you have to select Gemini API, right? So that you could basically get the Gemini API and use it for free, and you can click copy and don't share it with anybody, right? And you can see that this API usage is free because we're in this free tier. If you do it under any other project, you'll be under tier 1, and make sure not to do that and just go under and make sure you're under the Google Gemini API project name so that you could use this AI for free. And then we're going to paste that API into here. And then now you should be able to use the Google Gemini models, whichever models you want to use. They got a bunch. What I'm going to go with going forward with this automation. And just to test things out, we're going to use Google Gemini Flash. And then we're going to select the response modalities as text. And the messages are going to be user, right? Message text. And then putting in, before we get to that text module, we first want to run this, delink the Google Gemini app, make sure these 3 modules work. And if they do, they would all appear green and have data right here. I kept getting 400 errors right here because I forgot that there was a space right here. Make sure you don't have a space here, right? And if everything went green, you should have a status of 200 under the HTTP make request. And then now you can get the data, right? The data contains the transcript as well as the timestamps. Now, to parse through all this data to feed it into the Google Gemini app to get and work with it with AI, we want to, so basically this data is in JSON format and we want to parse it out so that we can work with it better. And so go to modules down here at the bottom and click add, and then type in JSON, and then click the parse JSON module, and then add that to the flow, and then paste in, and then click and drag in here your JSON string, which is data. And then we're gonna check and make sure that this works too as well. We're gonna continue to run anyway. And then from here, we should be able to see this bundle be parsed correctly and see all the different information from it, like transcript, right? And then we can get and work with the transcript as text, which is great. And I think the Google Gemini models can parse long context windows, which is great too. And this is where we want to say we could work with the AI and start to work with the transcript of the video. Basically, at this point, we could do whatever you want with the transcript right in here, in between the quotation marks, right? And we could say, let's say that we want to read through this transcript and deliver a very valuable and insightful newsletter blurb. And we could do that. We could say, read through this transcript. And then that's the transcript as text within the quotation marks. And then say, and provide very insightful and valuable newsletter blurb to use in our marketing strategies newsletter. And then it'll work with that. It could literally be for any type of niche. You could use it for any niche, right? But I'm just saying for this purposes of the example, I'm just saying we got a marketing strategy business, and we're gonna run this and see what happens. And if this happens where you just get stuck on the first one, make sure to change out your connection and click save, and it'll give you this option again. Then we could run it. We're gonna get the transcript from the HTTP request from the Rapid API thing, and it's gonna parse it, and then the Google Gemini is going to give you output data. And now we have our result, right? Subject, give us a subject, Adams Earnhardt's 10-step marketing framework, start guessing, start growing. And it says, hey everyone, tired of throwing marketing spaghetti at the wall and hoping something sticks, right? Now, this right here is a great newsletter blurb to start out with, right? We could, now in order to make multiple things like newsletter blurbs, like blog posts, like Twitter tweets, like YouTube or Instagram or TikTok shorts, or just short form video scripts that are viral, we could then now make it more interesting by adding a router. But first, since we generated this data, let's go ahead and save it in Google Sheets, and we're going to update a row. And let me show you how to do this. Select web path, enter manually, and this is kind of easier, so I'm going to show you this way. I'm going to click in the row number from the row that we've created earlier in the flow, and enter manually, and then put it in. And then our sheet name, put that into row number, and put that in. Oh god. So, or you could just, we're just select my path. How about that? So select your spreadsheet path, and then all this data should be populated, and it'll pull in the headers. And from our headers before, they were already populated. So let's go ahead and organize that into data in a more organized way. We're gonna click view right here. So go to your Google Sheet and then go to freeze, and then click one row, and it'll freeze the top columns, right? And now you could, when you scroll up and down, you could see that the columns will stay stuck at the top. Right, the first row will stay stuck at the top. So as we described as before, from looking at this, we decided that the important info one is playlist ID. So let's go ahead and up that. So playlist ID. I think the next one is video ID. The next one after that is title. The next one after that is description. The next one after that is video owner channel title. And the next one after that is video publish date. Everything's looking good. So the next information in here that we could work with would probably be the transcript as text. That's what we want. Transcript as text, or just put transcript, right? And then the next one that we want is probably newsletter, blurb, blog, post, tweet. Next one is short form video script. And that's pretty much it. So we can create newsletter, blurb, blog post, tweet, and short form video script, right? And populate that all in this sheet. So now that this sheet is looking a little better, we could then now work with this even more, keep it all within one flow, or have routers. But for the sake of this tutorial, I'm making it super easy and simple. We are going to say that newsletter blurb. This is the blog post. This is the tweet. This is the viral short form video script. And we're going to be saving our results to Google Sheets. Right now, you probably want to click save. Basically, we're going to go in here and change the text instructions real quick, saying provide a very insightful and valuable blog post using the information from the transcript to use in our marketing strategies website. I'll take to post in our right. That should be good for that. Have our tweet. Provide very valuable, insightful. I'll take provide 5 valuable, very short and concise tweets to post in our marketing strategies Twitter account, and then save for that one. And then for this one, viral short form videos by very insightful, very valuable, and very engaging. Very insightful, valuable, and very engaging short form viral script to use in our marketing strategies, social media, right? And then from there, we want to then populate Google Sheets headers. We're going to probably click refresh. And now the headers are updated, and we could populate the data from Google Flash and put in the results here for the newsletter blurb, result for the blog post, result for the tweets, and result for the short form video script. Save again, and then click run, and everything will process. It might take a minute, but as we could see in here, after everything has finished, we have a blog post, a tweet, a short form video, and that's it. And we could delete these headers or save them for later. Basically, this automation is now done, and we could delete these rows, and we're now just left with all this data. And we could click text word wrap, and we could make this probably bigger and see all of the different data that's in here. And we could use this to, for this example, populate a marketing strategy business with information. But basically, it would swap out, some marketing strategies. You would put in your niche, and it would do the exact same thing, as in create blog posts, newsletters, tweets, and short form video scripts for your niche with whatever videos that you're producing. You'll automatically have this content. Once you publish a video, right, and you save it to a playlist, you can have this automation run every day at a certain time per day, or every day of the week, right? You could have it run every day, and you could make the scenario active, and then basically it will watch for any videos that you add to this playlist. So every time you create a video and add that video to a playlist that you mentioned in here, you will have all this information be populated in that Google Sheet, right? And then you can have this information and use it to publish to all the outlets that you have, which is great and amazing. So I really do hope that you enjoyed this automation. If you would like more help, more questions, feel free to send me that information, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But basically, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to export this blueprint and save it, and then attach it to this video so that you guys can work with. So great. I hope you guys enjoy this automation. Continue to see you soon.